And you are listening to The Lead Word. I am one of your hosts, Chad Bauman, with me as usual, Trey Daubert. We have joining us producer Courtney Plummer. I hope I pronounced that correctly. There's no B, but I just went with it. Courtney's joining us because, as you may remember from a few weeks ago when we did the last episode of The Lead Word, Bridget left us high and dry, just took off. Not a care in the world. So we're in between producers right now. Our next producer is not going to be here for another.
Well, actually, you know what? We could bring this up, Chad.
Bring what up?
You have a decision to make.
What decision?
This is your decision. This is not my decision.
What's the decision?
If you want Courtney to be the producer, I'm sure she would do it, but we'll have to compensate her.
It's your company. I'm not signing the paychecks. I don't care. I don't care who does it as long as they do a good job. Courtney, hey, I know she does the lead, or she does the Tandemonium, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I have no issues with Courtney's work. If she wants to be our producer and do Tandemonium as well,
this is your decision,
no
Chad.
Like I said, I don't care. We could keep Courtney as long as she's okay with doing both shows. Courtney, is that fine with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me. It's no problem.
Don't just say yes.
No, it's no problem.
Like bend Chad over a little bit. Make him earn it, you know?
What is she earning from me? Like, you're the one that signs the paychecks. So you're the boss. Like I approve the decision. If you're like, we have to compensate her. So like you're the one signing the paychecks. It's your company.
You don't want any say in it? It's your show.
Okay. Yes. I already said I'm okay, perfectly fine with Courtney being here. If you want me to send her paycheck, I'm gonna hook Courtney up. Courtney, how's $1,000 a month sound?
Okay.
Who's paying that?
Well, that's what I said. I said I'm good with bringing her Courtney on to be our producer. I'm the one that said you had to set the paycheck, but you told me it was on me. So I don't know. That you got to work the financials out. It's your company. I'm just the moderately handsome friend that's just hanging off your coattails here. You can't make me make decisions.
We'll figure it out. How's that?
Courtney, yeah, that'll work.
No one signed anything yet, so don't get your hopes up on the $1,000, Courtney.
Okay. We need like a little contract here.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
So yes, Courtney, I guess to be determined, may be the producer for the lead work going forward, but like we said, we'll figure that out. What has it been, like 2 weeks, Trey, since the last episode? 2 or 3 weeks?
I believe so.
The last episode was before the draft, so
yeah.
Let's get started. We had a nice little tangent there in the beginning.
We actually both went to the gym today too.
Yes, I started back in the gym last week.
I'm
my brother's wrestling season finally.
You got to get him going.
We the only days that we didn't go last week were Wednesday.
The season starts now for him.
Right. Well, yes, he wrestled in a tournament on Sunday.
It's good.
Took 5th place.
That part. I might have to stop by and just give him like a underhook series lesson or something. We'll see.
You could.
Yeah.
I had him. You remember my friend Sonny Boy? He was a 2-time All-American.
Yeah.
Sonny Boy came through last summer. Now he's recruiting him to wrestle up in Ohio, wherever he's coaching at now. This kid has no idea how lucky he is to know me. Like if I had an older brother that wrestled in college when I was his age, I'd have been a state champ, no problem. He doesn't know. I had to do it by myself.
Yeah.
But let's get into the show here, because we definitely don't want to run out of time. What do we have? What we got? We're going to talk about some of the rookie quarterbacks and how we think, what their ceilings and their floors are for this season. We think they'll end up taking over, what we think is going to happen in their particular situations. Any quarterback you want to start with, Trey? Do you just want to knock out the easy one?
Let's go floppy hair Trevor Lawrence. I guess my expectation is, I think Jacksonville, I don't necessarily think they're going to be good right off the bat, which I guess is obvious, but I'm not concerned if they go, I don't know, 5 and I guess what is it, 12 now? Yeah, 5-12, maybe. Like, who cares what they do this year?
I mean, I feel like Lawrence is definitely gonna be the day one starter. I mean, who else they have? Nobody, right?
Minshew.
Okay, I mean, maybe they sit him behind Minshew for a little bit, but I feel like his ceiling is he's the day one starter. I guess his floor is that he'll take over sometime halfway through the season.
And that's actually a good point. I think Urban Meyer came out a couple weeks ago and he said he saw what happened because he coached Alex Smith at Utah. He said he saw what happened to Alex Smith when he just got thrown into the fire, and he won't do that to Trevor Lawrence unless he's 110% sure that he is going to be a rock star from week one. So I don't necessarily think it's a lock he starts right away.
Well, I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, look at Derek. I can't remember his first name. Derek Carr's brother,
David Carr.
David. Yeah, that always throws me off a little bit. I mean, he was really good coming out of. He got sacked 1,000 times in his rookie season, and then he just never got it. He was just shell shocked. So I mean, I would definitely be careful, when it comes to the number one pick. But I mean, it's just not the NFL anymore.
And more importantly, this roster's not good yet. Like, I thought they had a good draft, but this thing's going to take time.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, there's still questions on the offensive line, and I think that's the biggest thing with a rookie quarterback is just making sure he doesn't get sacked 100 times.
Right.
But I definitely think he's going to start at some point during the season.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's.
I think he'll perform well. I don't necessarily know if it'll translate to wins right away, just because their team's not good enough.
Right.
I do think there's a chance maybe they surprise people. I wouldn't put, I don't know, 7 wins past them. I think that's possible because their division stinks, right? Like, are you really worried about Houston? Tennessee's fine, but like they're beatable, So it's not like you're running through a gauntlet like the NFC West.
Yeah. So I think I would be really, like you said, I know Urban Meyer said it's probably not going to happen, but I think it's the most important thing to look at is whether or not he starts to, is day one in the season.
The more interesting one is Trey Lance, right?
Yes. Where he went to San Fran.
He went to San Fran. Part of me thinks like, hey, maybe Garoppolo get hurt because he has had injury problems. But I guess ideally, I don't think San Fran would even want to play him this year.
I would say under normal circumstances, no. But at the same time, you traded up to get the guy.
I know.
Like I feel like conventional wisdom would be like, hey, you got Garoppolo, just don't get this guy killed. But then then I'm like, you know what? No, I think they're really gonna put this.
I think the division plays a factor. I do think the division plays a factor. They can't afford to get off to a slow start.
But they can't. But at the same time, too, you have to look at it with like, I guess, kind of like Shanahan tinted goggles. He's had success, not as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator. He's had success with a rookie quarterback before in RG3. So if there's anybody in the NFL where I'm like, oh, he's just like, my system can overcompensate for this guy or whatever.
And even in Washington, they ran the ball like hell. They've just fed Alfred Morris like 25 times a game, and they made RG3's life really easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're looking at this through Shanahan tinted goggles, it's like, fuck it, put the kid out there.
I would say
I'm good enough to get this guy 8 wins at least, 9 wins. Well, what is it? I guess they're 17 games now, so 10 wins would be like the not being under 500.
I would say at minimum, Garoppolo is going to start 8 games, barring injury.
I could see San Fran saying, you know what, throw the kid out there. I really could. If there's one team, well, outside of the Jets, I guess, because they don't have anybody. But like, if there's one team that has it made where you could just be like, throw the kid out there, It would be San Fran.
Because there is a chance, though, right? 2 years ago, this team went to the Super Bowl. They could be 7-1 through 8 weeks, or 6-2 through 8 weeks.
Yeah, I'd have to look at like their schedule to see the matchups. I don't know, but it's possible
So at that point, you're not benching Jimmy G.
if he starts at all.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna start.
I don't know, man.
You think week 1?
I think it's possible. Like I said, they traded up for the kid. And it's not like Shanahan hasn't had success starting a rookie quarterback from day one. Like I said, in Washington as the offensive coordinator, RG3 was the starter from day one that year. And then he went on to be rookie of the year. And then he got hurt.
They also
and
didn't
then
have
Kirk
another
Cousins was
option,
there.
though, right? Their backup was also rookie Kirk Cousins.
Right. But I'm just saying, man, Shanahan might just be like, hey, you know what? I'm the shit. I can take a rookie and win the Super Bowl. I don't care.
Okay. Who's the third guy that got taken? Why am I drawing a blank?
Um,
Oh, Wilson. I forgot about Zach Wilson.
yeah.
Second guy that got taken. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to get thrown right into the fire.
Yeah,
Because that's
because
what the Jets do.
Nothing says the New York Jets like making the same mistake
Yes.
right after making the
He
same
will
mistake.
get thrown right into the fire, and they will suck. And he's going to look worse than what he really is.
Yes. And then his mom's going to be on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is complaining about how she doesn't like the Jets fans.
Now, they are better than what they were when they first drafted Darnold. Like, they did some smart things. They actually have a real left tackle. Their wide receiver core, it's not like, star-studded, but it's not joke level either. Corey Davis can at least play. I think Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss was a good pickup, but they're still not good.
Well, yeah, I mean, they might have fixed the left tackle situation, but I don't think the rest of their offensive line is any good either.
Can we talk about what's going on with your computer? It's just going like this.
Oh, it's because I'm shaking my legs.
Okay. It's freaking me out. All right. And then Justin Fields. You would think.
He's definitely not going to start
at all.
Oh, I meant like not. No, he'll get in eventually because it's Andy Dalton. But I'm saying like they paid Andy Dalton all that money. They're not going to start Justin Fields off the rip.
See, this is one where I think Fields will see the field. I guess that's a pun. Fields will see the field. Whatever. He will get out there sooner than later because Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy have to win games. Have to. Or maybe they have like a lifetime contract because you would have thought Ryan Pace would have got fired already for making that Trubisky pick and then moving up for Trubisky, but he's going to get out there sooner than he should probably. They have to win games.
Yes, but
especially in that division.
I feel like this one's kind of tough just because, like I said, they invested a lot in Andy Dalton, who, I mean, admittedly is not.
Well, they invested a lot in Nick Foles too, right? And he's still there.
Yeah. Their whole quarterback thing is just, it's just bananas.
But think about that division. If let's say hypothetically Rodgers is not there, they have to win. They have to at least make the playoffs.
If you're talking about job security, yes.
Yeah. That division stinks. Detroit's going to be a joke. Minnesota, they're just going to be what they normally are, around 8-8. And then Green Bay is going to be a mess if Rodgers isn't there. If Rodgers is not there, they have to at least make the playoffs.
That's fair, but I don't think Rodgers is going anywhere.
You sure? You positive?
I'm fairly confident. Like, I'm not ruling it out, but
I think the Denver thing's interesting.
I think more likely than not, Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay next year.
I think Denver's interesting.
Hey, I'm not pulling the trigger on any trades or anything until we start seeing Shailene Woodley like shopping around.
Can I ask you this though? This is my takeaway on it. Green Bay must know Jordan Love sucks. There's no other explanation. Like if I'm Green Bay and I drafted a quarterback in the first round last year, and Rodgers is 37 years old, and somebody offers me like 4 first-round picks for Rodgers, I'll move him. I have no problem. Why? I'd trade Rodgers. If I pick the quarterback in the first round and I believe he's a stud, why not trade Rodgers?
Because that guy's not as good as Rodgers is currently.
Yeah, but even let's say, I don't know. Let's say, because I really like Justin Fields. I think he's going to be good. Let's say they have Justin Fields on the roster, or even a quarterback do you believe in? I'd trade Rodgers. You think Green Bay is going to win the Super Bowl next year?
No.
Then why not move him?
Fair, I am playing devil's advocate a little bit. I am of the mindset that no player can ever be 100% safe. If you get the right offer, then you get the right offer, and
he's 37 years old. How yeah, he's awesome. He's gonna come back to burn you for 2-3 years, but I'd trade him.
Maybe they're thinking he's gonna like Tom Brady this thing out and play until he's 100.
Rodgers doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He's got a hot new girlfriend. He wants to do Jeopardy.
Know what the thing? You're right. He doesn't, because when you think about like Tom Brady, like I could easily see him being like, how there's always that like one like 80-year-old guy at the gym that's like crushing pull-ups.
Yeah,
like that. I could easily see Tom Brady. Whereas like Aaron Rodgers, like he's definitely like the guy who's like he was like the all-star quarterback in high school, but then he ends up like in the bar like 30 years
like
later
Uncle
talking
Rico.
about like like I could see Aaron Rodgers being like that kind of like retired pro, whereas like he's just like chilling with the beer like at the bar, like I used to play in the NFL and I was pretty good, got a couple records and I won a Super Bowl. No
like
big
Rodgers
deal.
is not working out 2 hours a day when he retires. That kind of guy.
Rodgers might work out 10 hours a day now as a pro, outside of practice.
I would trade him.
I would too. But if we're getting back to Chicago,
Green Bay has to know Jordan Love sucks. Otherwise, you wouldn't be this reluctant to not move him.
Unless they really feel that they can win the Super Bowl with Rodgers.
And they're not going to. Their team's worse this year.
I'm saying that's the only reason why you wouldn't trade him.
They didn't get better.
Maybe they think they got better.
How? They lost Corey Linsley, their center.
I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They're looking at the roster like, oh, man, we got so many guys.
What was so good about their draft except for Stokes? I thought they bombed.
Obviously they like those guys or they wouldn't have picked them.
I guess. Amari Rodgers ain't moving the needle for you.
I'm just saying. Obviously they like those guys. I don't ever try to like get like, it's hard to get in the mind of some of these NFL teams because you got like guys like Howie Roseman that are just crazier than a bag of kittens. And it's just like, there's no way you're going to be able to think about what they think about because they're just not logical.
Hey, he did something smart today. Ryan Kerrigan.
I don't know. Kerrigan, I'm not upset about it, but at the same time, it's not like he's going to, like, he's not the knight in shining armor. He's 32 years old.
Okay, but as a situational pass rusher?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not, like I said, I'm not upset about it. It was a good pickup, but it's not like it's going to turn the season around. He's not going to be, well, I'm going to say this and it's going to come back and bite me in the ass. It's not like he's going to be the reason why we win the Super Bowl. I don't see Ryan Kerrigan having.
You're going to be lucky you won 6 games.
I think we're going to win like 4.
Yeah.
I don't honestly. I think the Eagles. They honestly have I think they have like a 95% chance to go like 0-6.
Well, I was going to say if you win 6 games, it'll be because you got 4 in the division.
Which they won't. They'll split with the Giants. They'll
get 1 from the Giants. They beat the Giants every year, regardless of how bad they are.
Well, that's what I said. They'll split with the Giants. They'll probably drop both of the Cowboys games, and then they'll probably split with Washington. So that's only 2 wins right there.
Yeah. Mac Jones. Who the hell knows what Belichick's going to do?
He'll start, I think. He'll probably go in. I would, if I had to guess, week 5 or 6.
That's another one, right? Isn't it going to be dependent on if New England's competitive?
Oh, it's 100% based on Cam Newton.
Yeah. Do we know which version of Cam Newton we're getting?
I mean, yeah, because the Patriots looked really good before. No, I was agreeing with you. I was saying that the Patriots looked really good before Cam got COVID last year, and then he got COVID, and he just wasn't the same guy that he was for the first 3 weeks of the season.
He still wasn't good throwing the ball, even when he was good.
I didn't say he was. I just said that there was a clear drop off from those first 3 weeks to the rest of the season. Yeah. So I if anything, the fact that they couldn't get the ship righted, I just playing the odds here. I would have to bet that we're probably going to see more of the same. I think Cam might be done at this point just because he's been through a lot. He's taken a lot of hits in his career. He's had COVID last year. It's hard to come back from that kind of stuff.
To me, this is the biggest factor. When Brady was in that division for 15 years, the other teams in the division sucked. Buffalo's nasty. And the Dolphins are getting there.
They're on the come up.
Yeah. Like I still think New England's a third place team.
Who's the other team in that division? I can't remember.
The Jets.
Oh yeah, that's why I can't remember.
Buffalo's nasty. I don't care how good New England is; they're not beating them.
No, I don't think so. I think. Well, I mean, if they what was it last year? The year before they scored on defense and special teams, and they ended up beating Buffalo because of it. Was that 2 years ago or was that last year?
I don't think they beat Buffalo last year.
Then it was 2 years ago, where they scored on like
I think Buffalo went. What did Buffalo go 13-3 last year?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then 2 years ago, it was 2 years ago then when they scored on like defense and they also scored on like a block punt.
I think Josh Allen's going to keep getting better.
That's the only way the Patriots beat Buffalo is if they score on defense a whole bunch against them.
I think the Bills' offense, adding Emmanuel Sanders, could be better this year.
Yeah, 2 Cole Beasley types there, and then Sanders can also play on the outside too.
Year 2 of Diggs.
With the exception of Diggs, their wide receiving core is kind of old though, so that you have to be careful with that because Cole Beasley's like 33, and
Gabriel
then
Davis is going to be something for him. I don't know how good, but he'll be something.
Little X
factor. It'd be nice if Dawson Knox figured it out.
Isn't he always hurt though?
Yes. It'd be really nice if your guy Zach Moss would figure it out.
I mean, he was hurt last year. Give him a
their
break.
running game. Their running game's the only thing holding them back. He had like 6 touchdowns. He had like 6 touchdowns. He was good in the short yardage, but he was not a 20 carry per guy back.
Yeah, I don't think that was what they brought him in to do though. But we'll see. I mean,
Singletary kind of stinks.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Is there another quarterback? I guess Trask. I don't know if you want to talk about Kyle Trask.
No.
I think it's not
going to see the field.
I was going to say it's very clear that Trask isn't going to play unless Brady gets hurt.
Kellen Mond's not going to see the field. We don't know what's going to happen with Watson. If Watson's there, Davis Mills won't see the field. If Watson's not there, Tyrod Taylor's at least going to start for a while.
Can we just say, though, like with Watson, I feel like he's not going to get suspended.
I agree with you. Well,
like if they were going to suspend him, wouldn't they have already like done so at this point? Like the league, it's baffling for me because the league has been 100% silent on Watson. Like, there hasn't been any kind of statement like, oh, we're aware of the allegations, we're investigating internally. Like, normally when this kind of thing comes out, you'll hear that. Like, oh, we're aware of this allegation, we're investigating internally.
I think the worst case scenario for him is he gets hit with like a Zeke Elliott thing. Right.
But that's my point.
I'm saying worst case.
No, but that's one of the things I'm talking about though. When you look at the case against Zeke, right? Yeah, Zeke, they did their thing, and then Zeke kept putting off because he kept appealing and whatnot.
Yeah,
cool. But with Zeke, when you look at his suspension, when everything first started, it was, they came out right away and said, we're aware of the situation and the allegations, we're investigating, and we'll let you know. Basically, what are we at? Like case number 100 with fucking Watson?
They haven't said a word.
They holy shit.
They
haven't said anything.
No.
Like, I have to assume, unless this guy fucking goes to jail, he's going to play without any kind of suspension next year.
I agree.
Like, I don't, like, if they haven't said anything, they haven't said anything. I don't feel like they're going to say anything.
I think it's more likely he gets traded than gets suspended.
I don't think he gets traded.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think Philadelphia would trade for him? If Watson comes out and he's good to go, he's clear, and he says, "I still don't want to play for the Texans."
I feel like I want to say no because I feel like it wouldn't make any difference. It wouldn't really make sense to trade for him because like you're not gonna get any better by trade. Well, you're gonna get better, but you're gonna be in the same boat you were last year with Carson, where you have a good quarterback, but everybody around him fucking sucks. So I don't see what's the point.
But I think the price tag has come down. I think the price tag has come down.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We're talking about Howie Roseman, so he might just be like, "Fuck it, I do what I want."
Let's say, because I think an underrated part of this, I keep thinking that Philadelphia is going to be the team that trades for him. An underrated part of this is Jalen Hurts is from Houston, born and raised Houston. If Houston says we'll take Hurts and we'll take a first rounder and a second rounder, you do it. You do it.
Again, here's what I'm saying.
You do it.
Here's what I'm
saying. Because you have 3 first round picks next year. You got one from Indy, one from, I think it's technically Miami's or San Fran's. One of those. And then you got your own. You do it.
Here's why I wouldn't though.
You would.
When you look at how the Eagles draft, it's basically we need to take as many guys as possible because we really fucking suck at it. So we have to take as many guys as we can because at least one of them will be a good fucking player if we take 10 guys,
there's no quarterbacks next year, Chad.
Look, I'm not saying there are quarterbacks next year. I'm just saying I don't see the point in trading for Watson when we're just going to bring him in to be in the same shitty fucking boat.
You would do the trade.
We need as many draft picks as we fucking can get because, like I said, it's like taking a handful of darts and throwing it at the dartboard. Most of them aren't going to fucking land, but at least one of them is going to stick.
Yeah, but you would basically be swapping Wentz for Watson. If it was 1 first rounder and a second rounder.
Okay, yeah, let's bring them in to go 4 and fucking 12. What the fuck?
Okay, but you got to get a quarterback eventually.
Wait. I'm sorry. 4 and 13.
You got to get one eventually.
I'd rather.
You're not going to get one next year. The only guy that I like next year is Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma, and unless you have the first overall pick, you're not getting him.
I'd rather build the team and get it ready, and then trade up to get the fucking stud after the team's ready for him to come in and be a competitor. That's what I'd rather do.
You can still do that. You'll have 2 first round picks left over. That's enough.
Not with Howie Roseman. Like, it's not like someone
that's his problem.
No, that's my problem. Because I have to watch these guys fucking suck every Sunday. Well, like literally,
you would do the trade.
If Howie Roseman has 20 draft picks out of 20, you'll get maybe 2 guys. You should be
willing to give some away if they're going to be wasted.
No, because
throw
we
him in
need
the
as many as-
garbage.
we need them. We need those two guys. Every pick you lose decreases the chance that we get a real player.
What you need is for him to not mess up the salary cap anymore. That's what you more so need.
I need him to
The
get
cap
fired.
space situation is disgusting.
I really don't like talking about like this guy needs to be fired and stuff like that because I mean at the end of the day you're talking about someone's job, but like Howie Roseman needs to be fired, man.
I talk about people getting
it
fired all the
hurts
time.
to fucking watch. No,
I talk about the interns getting fired all the time.
Well, they're not getting paid, so it's different. Like I don't want a guy to lose his house and shit like that. If someone loses their house over a vendetta internship, I'd feel some type of way about it.
They went.
Oh, Howie Roseman, he's like the worst.
Courtney would like smile if we fired a couple of people.
Is that right, Courtney? Would you be happy if they got fired?
See, she's already smiling. Look at.
Don't let Trey put words in your mouth.
No, I don't know. It depends on what they do. It all depends.
She's already smiling.
I think there are certain people that maybe deserve to get fired, but if we're talking about the interns, that's one thing. Like I said, they're not getting paid. But like I said, I don't like to say, let's fire this guy because, like I said, I don't like to talk about people's livelihood. Like, how messed up would it be if someone came at me at my job like, oh, you work for this bank and you fucking suck. You need to get fired. Like I'd be feeling like you really want me to like.
You wanted to fire yourself half the time.
Yeah, I mean that's just talk. I have bills to pay. I can't afford to get fired. If that was the case, I'd quit.
Get a couple more partnerships. Maybe you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have anything else?
You want to do some fantasy stuff quick? We'll call it.
Yeah, we go quick.
I think Najee Harris is going to be really good fantasy wise. Like he's the type of guy, and Tomlin always does this. He'll run him into the ground. He'll give him like 275 carries, and he'll run the daylights out of him, and he'll be on the field all 3 downs, and he can catch too. Fantasy wise, Najee Harris is going to be a stud.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
I guess
perfect landing spot fantasy wise.
I mean, this has to mean that James Conner's life in Pittsburgh is over, right?
Well, he's got to be on the move. He's in Arizona.
Was he?
Yeah.
I so missed that. Didn't.
Well, was
he a free agent? He was a free agent last year, right?
Yeah, this year, yeah. Well, there's no competition. I like Anthony McFarland a lot, but he didn't even see the field last year. And Benny Snell, he's a big back, but God, he runs soft.
Yeah, I you're right. When
they picked him in the first round for a reason.
Yes,
they're gonna run the hell out of him.
Running backs. That's the one position that you can always just come in and just be dynamite off the bat, because it's basically take the ball, hit the hole, and just keep running.
And especially Tomlin, like when he had Lev Bell, that guy was touching the ball 350 times a year. He doesn't take running backs that he trusts off the field ever.
Yeah. So Najee Harris, he's probably going to be could be top 5 next year running back wise.
How do you feel about Javonte Williams, the landing spot? Because you're a Javonte Williams fantasy owner.
I think I'd have to really. I'm kind of like excited, but I'm also kind of nervous because I feel like it go one of two ways. Melvin Gordon never stops touching the ball,
right?
Or Javonte Williams gets the bulk of the carries, but inside the 20, Melvin Gordon is the one that gets the touchdowns.
That would also suck.
Not as much, because if Javonte Williams has a 100-yard game, he has a 10. That's a 10 points for me in fantasy right there. Plus, if he breaks a long touchdown, that's just gravy. But I'm leaning more towards kind of the way they ran it last year, where Melvin Gordon's going to be your red zone guy, and then more often than not, the other guy is going to be getting the carries.
I want
So
to
that's
ask you
what I
this
think.
because it actually matters for fantasy. You might think I'm crazy. I think Denver could actually be okay next year.
I still haven't given up on Drew Lock.
I think they could be okay next year.
I'm not.
Theoretically, if Von Miller and Bradley Chubb are healthy, and they brought in Patrick Surtain and they signed Kyle Fuller, and they got a nice little linebacker now in Baron Browning, and they kept Justin Simmons, defense could be really good.
I think they're going to be close to 500.
If they have some leads, it helps you.
Right. I think they're still going to be like a 9-10 win team.
But I think that's possible. I think they could be a sneaky playoff team.
You can't go 500 this year because they got the 17 games now.
I'm actually leaning towards the Raiders being the last place team. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I feel like that's a given.
Well, they weren't last year. Denver wasn't good last year.
Yeah, but I mean it's the
Raiders.
And
the Chargers. Anthony Lynn's not there anymore. They could explode.
Yeah. I think Denver's going to be like a 9-win team. I think that'll be them. 9 or 10 wins.
What are your thoughts on Michael Carter to the Jets? Because they technically don't even have like a real starting running back. But Carter was taken in the 4th round. It can catch the ball, but they're not going to be very good, and their offensive line stinks, and it's the Jets. It's tricky.
I mean, I think he'll get lucky on a few passes, you know. But I wouldn't expect him to be a world beater fantasy wise, like next year, because like you said, their offensive line's just not good.
No,
it's like
how many touchdowns is that guy getting?
If he's lucky, like 2 or 3 the entire season, maybe.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't expect much from him. Like unless they like unless they just like game for him to get the ball, just like constantly finding ways to get him the ball out in space, like just crazy design pass plays or whatever. He's not gonna like really do anything fantasy wise.
Last one. What are your thoughts on Travis Etienne? Because the early reports have been he's playing receiver more than he is running back. And they have James Robinson, and they're probably not going to be that good.
Where did he go again?
Jacksonville. It's weird because apparently the reports have been Urban Meyer really wanted to take Kadarius Toney as the gadget guy. The Giants picked him in front of him. They said, screw it, we're going to take ETN, and he's not even really going to be a running back, even though that's what he played in college.
That's one that I think that one's tough. I think
I don't even think he's good.
Well, I think him playing more wide receiver, it's going to give him more kind of like touches. But like I said, it's easy to transition into running back because like it's get the ball, hit the hole, and just keep running. Like wide receiver,
James Robinson was good for them last year.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if he's going to be playing mostly wide receiver, it's one, you're learning a completely new position, but 2, wide receiver is actually like really hard to translate to because you have to like
I don't even trust him fantasy wise this year.
Well, like I was saying, like when it comes to a wide receiver, it's not just like, oh, this is your route, this is what you're running. You, as a wide receiver in the NFL, you have to determine like, okay, in the zone coverage, I need to find the hole and then sit down so my quarterback can find me. Or, oh, I'm playing man, so I have to be able to sell my routes and stuff like that. So if he's learning a new position, he's got to, not on top of learning the new position, he's got to learn how to play wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, if he's playing wide receiver, I feel like they're going to try to game plan to get him the ball. but I feel like it's not going to translate, if it does at all, into at least year 2 or 3.
Yeah. All right. That's good for this week. Courtney, big thanks. We'll see what we're gonna do producer-wise, Chad.
Yes. We have
Yes.
2 weeks to decide because the person we were going to use going forward to replace Bridget doesn't start until June 1st. So we have next week and then all of next week. All of this week and then the rest of next week to decide, because it's only Monday right now.
Yeah.
Trey, any
I don't know.
final-
I don't know what Courtney thinks. It'll depend if maybe she even likes you. Maybe she doesn't even like you.
Most people don't, so I'm not surprised if she said no.
Hey, my first impression of you isn't too bad. So
Okay.
Okay. So you got like that sounds like maybe a 4 out of 10, Chad.
Yeah, like 4.5 maybe.
not a
Round up
4
to
out of-
5.
Alrighty.
Any closing thoughts and closing impressions, Trey? Anything you want to get off your chest before we close the show?
Anything I want to get off my chest? That's a loaded question.
I'm just you don't have to answer. I'm just saying, are there not? Maybe you don't have anything. I'm just asking.
I don't know if there's anything I can share on air.
Okay, well, I mean, that says it all.
Yeah.
I'm good for this week. Courtney, do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm good.
Oh, I didn't ask, by the way, Courtney. Who's your favorite? Who are your teams? Let's just get that out. If it was said on Tandemonium, I don't remember. But let's just get that out there. If that way, if you are our producer going forward, we'll know. That way we can make fun of you at our leisure.
I'm just gonna go with the Raiders because they're in Vegas now. So the Raiders.
Okay.
Are you talking about like basketball too and everything?
All your teams. If you follow hockey, basketball, if you're a big MLS fan.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Chad, but I'm actually a hockey guy now.
Yes, I did. You talk about it constantly.
So for basketball, I want to go with the Spurs. I've been a Spurs fan for a while. They're kind of
She's like mini Alex Chick.
Yeah, it's to be fair, the Spurs are like, you can tell it's not like a front running pick because they were good like in the early like mid 2000s and they haven't really done much since. Well, I think they won the championship in like 2010, but like since then
all you got to do is be like, hey Alex, did you know Greg Popovich doesn't have anymore? He's old and washed up.
Yeah.
So we have the Raiders and the Spurs. Any other teams? You don't have to have other teams if you don't have them.
Because I'm not into hockey, but I'm gonna start getting into hockey because now Vegas has a team, and then we got hockey guy Trey here, so see what he's talking about. Well, I have been listening because he was on Tandemonium last week. So I'm like more big on college, honestly. That's like what I like.
Okay.
I think college is like cool to watch more.
Okay, that's fair. And obviously, you don't have a baseball team because that's just a trash sport. So
don't even go there.
Wait, baseball is decent.
Baseball is trash, and I will die on this hill.
Chad.
It is trash.
It's a great sport, Chad.
Why?
Baseball is worse than soccer. Baseball is worse than soccer.
No, it is not.
8 hours just to watch a fucking 1-0 game. Who wants to do that?
They're not all 1-0.
Like 90% of them are 1-0.
Have you
seen
your Phillies bullpen? They give up more than one.
No, I haven't seen the Phillies bullpen because I don't watch the fucking sport. I appreciate the Phillies. I hope they do well. But am I ever going to watch them play unless I'm actually going to the stadium? No. And the only reason why I go to the stadium is so I can drink beer and hang out with my friends.
All right.
Well, now that we got that out of the way,
yeah,
I think it's a good place to wrap it up. So don't forget to check out our Patreon and subscribe and get your tier of choice and what come with that. If you're watching this video on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. That way you can always check out whenever we got new stuff coming out. Jackson, as usual, has a new series that he's rolling through, video game wise, playing Mass Effect. I saw most recently.
He's a psychopath.
Yes, he is, but he's the only psychopath.
He literally streams for like 7 hours in a row, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't take a bathroom break."
I can understand that. That just comes with the territory of playing video games. Like there have been times where I've been playing a game and I've gotten in the zone, I've forgotten to eat. And I mean, look at me. Do I look like I miss a lot of meals? Like, no. What else? What do we got here? We got Monkey Knife Fight. I don't even know what that is, but they sponsor us, so go do whatever you do with Monkey Knife Fight. And we have, I don't know, do we have promo codes? I don't know what
we do.
Trey, tell them about the promo codes.
Take a guess what it is.
Vendetta.
There you go.
Okay, and you'll get something special with that.
They will match your first deposit up to $100.
Oh yeah, so that's our code. That's a free $100. So if you fuck up, you're not losing as much money as you normally would if you bet $200.
Correct.
What else we got here? Did I miss anything?
Symbol.
Oh, Symbol.
Yeah.
They're still here,
yep.
And you can pick your fantasy sort of team to ride with through the season. The Eagles are probably like the cheapest team on Symbol, but that's just because they suck. What else we got? Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, Vendetta_media. You can follow Trey at Trey Daubert. Check me out at Lilfooted, LILFOOTD. Courtney, do you want people to follow you on Twitter, or you're just happy staying in the background?
No, they can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is at Plumber, PLUMER, Courtney. Sorry.
Okay. You're fine. So there you have it. The Twitter handles for everybody. Go check those out. Follow them. And other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.